welcome everyone to another episode of the Footy GameDay Squad show. I'm your host Cal, and joining me today I've got Kerm and I've got Tom as we look to break down everything GameDay Squad fantasy ahead of round 16. Fellas, how you feeling?
Not too bad. You guys might be able to tell by my voice I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm in a new environment. There's some random construction going on around me, but I've got a glass of water and I've got a lit candle going on, so the vibes are high here.
Oh, love that. And yeah, look at Kerm putting one in for the boys. Can't wait to get into this episode. As you mentioned, seasonal comp starting. I'm so excited. Bloody excited. Tell them a little bit more there.
Yeah, so we've had our first couple of weeks. They've both been weekly competitions, but from this week, both for our Aussie rules and our rugby league game, the seasonal comps start. So it's going to be a sprint now to the end. It's about 9 or 10 weeks. Cumulative scores will start building up. So while we'll still compete in the weekly scores, we can actually start seeing how we're going cumulatively week to week. So I can't wait to get into that. But because of all that, we've been flat out preparing a lot of things on our end. It means that we're recording this Thursday morning. So we've got a tight turnaround to get this out before Thursday night. So it is going to be a bit of a shorter show. We're going to try and race through everything. We still want to cover a lot. But yeah, that is the reason we're going to pick up the pace. And starting right now, Kerm, team news, go.
Let's go. Apologies for sitting through my croaky voice, but Lions trio, Dane Zorgo, Jared Lyons, and Zach Bailey are all chances to return, especially the latter two, which will be a massive inclusion for the Lions. The Bulldogs will likely cruelly be without Tim English again. I actually believe that's been elevated to he is definitely out this week.
Yep, I think so.
Darcy Parish is a sneaky chance to return for the Bombers, which will be a massive inclusion for them as they are super struggling. They look terrible out there. Max Gawn will be out again, but I'm keen to see what Luke Jackson can do. It's another sort of chance for coaches out there to see what he can do as dynasty owners. And while Paddy Dangerfield is a great chance to return, we will be missing Tom Stewart, as we touched on in the review show from round 15. So, yeah, a bit of mixed news there, a bit of a mixed bag for fantasy coaches.
Yeah, some huge names mentioned there. Some very fantasy relevant names. But let me take it away with Pack of the Week. I have the next little part here. And I'm super excited this week because we had a lot of submissions by our users on the game. And, you know, we've put in this thing for you guys to try to give back. So it's super cool that I can give back this week. We had a great pack. And the winner for this week is Dacos! And just look at this pack here. 3 golds, Oliver, Shuey, and McCluggage. All fantasy relevant. All can be put into nearly every team in the comp. And they will be better. So well done. What an amazing pack. And enjoy your 3x3 common player pack to juice up that team a little bit more. But if you want to submit a pack next week and have a chance to win, we've got our link to the Discord down below. So go join there. It's free. Or alternatively, send us a message on one of our socials and hopefully you'll be picked next week as the winner. So good luck.
Yeah, love that. We also had a legend card drop. And the person did not submit it as a pack of the week. They only submitted it as the card itself. So they have missed out on a surefire pack opening of the week award. But no, fantastic. All right, moving on, guys. We are going question of the round. Who wants to kick us off? Round 16.
I'll kick us off here. And I want to see if Aaron Hall can back it up. He played well against the Adelaide Crows last week, breaking the metres gained record in the AFL. But can he back it up against Geelong?
Wow, yeah. Good stat. Yeah. Love that.
Massive.
Tom, what have you got?
Yeah, mate, I was looking at my team and I had some tough decisions to make last week in the forward line. I have mentioned it's probably my weakest part of my team, but one of them was Aaron Norton and starting him and giving him the nod over a couple of other players that I had. He played really well, but I want to see that and see if it's going to continue this form with the Bulldogs right now. He's a goal-kicking machine. He's currently 3rd for the Coleman medal race, which stunned me when I saw that. Can he continue this fire? That's my question of the round.
Dude's good.
Can play. Apparently the best mark in the competition, right, Kerm? Not salty at all. My question of the round. Will Andrew Brayshaw be able to hold off the chasing pack and claim our fantasy MVP award come the end of the year? So Tuke Miller wrapped it up for us last year. He would have had the highest score, but Brayshaw is on track to claim it this year. There is some hot competition at the moment. You've got blokes like Oliver and Neil stepping it up. So yeah, I hope he does it. It would be a fantastic story. He's a fan favourite of us here on the show. It would be fantastic if he can cap that off with a GDS MVP award.
All right, guys, and next we have our own team reviews. As you mentioned, this seasonal and weekly comps have kicked on. Everything is firing. But my news this week for my team is very vanilla and boring. I have not made any changes. And as a wise man once said, if it ain't broke, don't go and fix it. And I had a pretty good week. I didn't have anyone that was going to come in and make a big difference. So I've left it. We'll see how it goes. But I'll throw it over to one of you. What are you doing this week with your team? What changes have been made?
I've only made a couple of changes. So last week I sort of want to back it up because I did have a good week finishing second in the Open League. But I've taken out Zach Tui, gold Zach Tui, and replaced him with a silver Isaac Cumming. I was a little bit worried about Harry Himmelberg's influence on Isaac Cumming, but that's since last week sort of quelled my fears for him. And the only other change I've made is I've taken out Daniel Rioli and replaced him with Tim Taranto. So yeah, hopefully Tim Taranto can build on his subpar performance last week and give us a good game.
Yeah, surely he'll back it up, right? You can't be that bad again. No, I like that. So for me this week, one of my changes is a change basically because of my stupidity last week. I, for some reason, had Tim English starting in the ruck spot. Even though I knew he wasn't going to play, I just didn't want to take him out. But I have this week. I realised that I didn't make that mistake. Luke Jackson's going to come in. He's silver for me. The only other option I had was Peter Wright, which was a gold. So it's a easy answer there at the moment.
No brainer.
My other big change though was I've gotten rid of Tom Lynch, a platinum version of him, for a gold Mitch Lewis, who's currently averaging 3.1 goals a game, which is insane.
Jesus. And
second behind Tom's bloke, Charlie Cornrow. So yeah, he's in some good form at the moment, but I'll touch on him a little bit later.
Yeah, we love the cornrow, but man, that's insane. But let's get it straight into hot seat then. Do you want to take it away, Callum? Seeing as you just touched on it.
Yeah, I will. The bloke I'm throwing in there is Mitch Lewis, which might seem a bit silly. I've just thrown him into my team, and now I've thrown him straight on the hot seat. So he's got an 88-point average, 107 with my gold card. But the reason he's doing is the 3.1 goals a game, which he obviously gets a kick and he gets the goals. That's 36 points alone from that. But outside of that, he's not doing too much more. His game highs are 12 kicks, 6 handballs, 3 tackles. There's game highs for the year.
Jesus.
So if he's not scoring goals, he will fall off a cliff massively. So I've taken a massive risk on him. Against GWS, I feel like he might do quite well. That GWS team can be hit and miss. But one bad effort from him is going to see him gone instantly because he's not doing anything else around the game. So fingers crossed he doesn't help me regret it, but I'm throwing him in the hot seat early just to let him know that the axe is over his head if he doesn't perform.
Yeah, wow. His performance is very goal dependent, as you just mentioned. He can really fall off and be nearly useless in terms of fantasy without it. But let me get into my player. This week, I've picked a player that we haven't mentioned in a while, and that is in Jake Stringer for the Essendon Bombers. And I don't want to beat down on the Bombers players because, they've just come off a loss against the West Coast Eagles, which not many teams have been able to do this year.
Quite impressive.
Yeah, for the wrong reasons, though, unfortunately. But, last week it felt like Jake Stringer had a chance to show the league and to show fantasy managers that he was still a top talent in the league. But, man, he did not do that at all. He finished with a game with 13 disposals, which is just not enough in my eyes. Yes, he kicked 3 goals against West Coast, but they are down bad right now, and you really wanted to see him get above that 100 score in the game, and he didn't even really get close to it. So it's been a very disappointing year for the Essendon Bombers and Jake Stringer. I've thrown him on the hot seat again, and hopefully next year will be much better for that team because things are going really downhill at the moment.
Yeah, the Bombers suck. A lot.
Yeah.
But I'll take you into my hot seat, which is Nathan Broad. And quite frankly, if I didn't have a platinum Nathan Broad, he probably wouldn't even be anywhere close to my team. But with the likes of Lost Stone, who is killing it just quietly down back for Richmond, I'm going to give him one more week because it seems like when Nathan Broad plays on a key forward, clearly he doesn't score as well as when he's free and plays that loose, tall defender role down back. So I'm going to see what he does against West Coast. He might play on Jack Darling. Well, TBD whether Josh Gibcus plays down back.
It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. But yeah, Nathan Broad for me, he's my hot seat for the moment. We'll see what he does this week. If not, we might see Stone come in.
I love that. Our game's unique question of card rarity versus the player actually being good at fantasy.
Yes.
And you think it'd be easy if you get these good cards? No, if you're stuck with a bunch of dilemmas here, it does make it quite difficult. We have my stat of the week, I believe, is next, guys.
Yep.
And this one comes courtesy of our friend Jaden Popowski, whose name I always butcher. And once again, Jaden, I'm so sorry. You'll tell me how to pronounce it properly one day.
Way.
Yeah, it's just Stats King. Yeah, fantastic. I wanted to have a crack at Port Adelaide because I saw him put out this stat the other day. No team has conceded more 120 plus AFL fantasy scores since 2010 than Port Adelaide. Look at that, 14, next highest in the competition, all those nines. So people love scoring against Port. You can see 3 of them there, Gawn, Miller, Jared Witts. People love taking advantage of us. Don't know why. We're a nice team. We go about our business, but yeah, people love to eat. So just thought I'd call that out as a homer stat for everyone for this week.
Well, there you go. If your players are playing Port, smack them in. They're going to pop off. Love to see that.
Speaking of pop off, Tom, you are happy popping about because you finally, I don't know how many, you finally pulled yourself back into contention for Lock of the Week. Bringing up the scoreboard there now, you can see me and Kerm did not move, which means we copped a couple of L's, but you've gained. Tell us, who did you have and who are you picking for this week?
Yeah, so I can see here you're trying to jump back onto my ship now as it's rolling and we've got a couple wins, but I'm not bringing anyone over. I'm on my own. I was left on my own island.
Off Kerm's ship. You're sitting on Kerm's ship.
No, I'm still on that ship, mate. Don't you worry. But yeah, last week was a very good week for me. You guys can explain what happened to you, but I went with Ben Keys and I doubled down with my statement of putting him in the hot seat and that he hadn't played so well recently. But this was his get-right game against North Melbourne, and that's exactly what he did. He got me the 120 GameDay Squad fantasy points that I asked from him. So this week, I have a lot of optimism again, coming off a green name, as you can see there with Keys. I'm looking at this preseason's premiership favourites engine room, but it's not the Oliver, Petrarca, Gawn, or even Luke Jackson right now that I'm looking at. I've gone for a bit of an outside pick here, but this player has been on a roll, and I've just looked at the numbers, looked at how he's filling it up recently, and I cannot wait to see Jack Viney get me my 125 GameDay Squad fantasy points that I'm asking from him this week. I'm super pumped about it. I really think he can do it with the form that he's in. And we'll see how it goes. But who would have thought that Jack Viney would have been one of our picks this year before it all started?
Jack Viney to
I
go
still
bang.
can't believe Jack Viney's one of our picks. There you go.
Yeah.
Bold, but hey, who are we to talk? We were wrong last week and you were right.
True.
I'll go into my lock of the round. I've actually gone, last week I got McRae wrong, 112 after being in some awesome form.
Yeah, that was
Stuffed it
tough.
up, fell below the 120 I had down for him. But this week I'm going to go to a favourite of the show, and that is, of course, Sam Doherty that you can see there. I've got him there for 120 points. He's averaging 140 over his last 3. So 120 should be smooth sailing. Build that buffer back up over Kerm, which I'm really, really excited about. Now, Tom, Kerm on our ends has disappeared, so I might have to talk through his lock of the week. I don't know how he's on your screen, but Kerm, if you're there, I'm sorry. I'm going to try and tell you what you did wrong last week, and that was Sicily. I don't know how many he got, but he didn't get the 110 that you wanted. And finally, that Andy Brayshaw, you can see there, he's got him down for 125. So I love Brayshaw, but I hope he misses it just so I get that buffer on Kerm.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've gone for a very outside-the-box pick, and you two have gone for 2 absolute fantasy studs trying to get the edge over each other. As you can see the score there, it is so close. I'm super excited to see what happens.
Yeah, well, I think for Doherty it's the perfect game because he's playing the Saints, who will challenge them enough so the ball will be down at half-back, but they're not going to dominate him. So it might be the perfect match.
They should have the edge. You're exactly right there.
But I reckon we should wrap this up because we have to get out. We have to actually get this video up before the round starts tonight. Cracking game, Dogs and the Lions. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for GameDay Squad seasonal competitions to start. So make sure you've got your team set up. Competitions, full swing. I'm really keen to see how everyone goes. So from all of us, thank you so much for your early support. We're so excited with what we're going to bring for the rest of the year and what we've got going forward. So Tom, I reckon we stay game day ready and we'll see everyone next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Check in next time.